American Airgunner is sponsored by Pyramid Air. Airguns are not just for kids anymore. Umarex, your premium airgun supplier. And these fine sponsors. Crystal, I think I really need to switch to decaf. Hi there and welcome back to American Airgunner. Crystal and I have been up here in the pasture practicing our offhand shooting with a couple of air rifles we plan on testing out for you today on the show. Meanwhile, I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a very special guest joining us today who will be shooting her first air rifle. I think I'll let you handle that one.
Okay.
But I've been shooting the Samyang Big Bore 909 this morning. This is a 45 caliber pre-charged pneumatic airgun that we've had on the show before, but the one Crystal is shooting is the Evanix Renegade. We've never shown you that one. So Crystal, why don't you go ahead and show the folks at home some details. Meanwhile, I'll set up the cranny and then we'll do some testing.
Okay, you can go ahead and bring the camera on in.
All right.
Today I'm shooting the Evanix Renegade. It's a pre-charged pneumatic 22 caliber 6-shot repeater. One of the really unique things about this rifle is that it's a revolver style. It has both single and double action. In addition to a hunter style safety, it has an adjustable butt pad. It doesn't come with open sights, but Paul went ahead and mounted on this Hawk 3-9x40 Air Max scope. I must say that it's definitely not meant for plinking cans in the backyard, but the Renegade makes a great small game hunting rifle.
Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, Crystal, we have our cranny results. I shot 5 bullets over the cranny. Our average was 599.08 feet per second. Let's say 600 feet per second.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and figure out the foot-pounds of energy using your magic calculations there.
All right, I'm going to do 600 times itself, which is the velocity, times 180, which is the bullet weight, divided by our constant, which is 450,240. Will give us 144 foot-pounds of energy.
144 foot-pounds. That is plenty for hunting. This is certainly a powerful and accurate pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. Crystal, I think our guest is here.
Okay.
So let me go and greet her. I'll send her up here to shoot with you. Meanwhile, I have a small craft project to do. I'll see you folks a little bit later on in the show.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Last season, I expressed to Paul that I was extremely anxious to bring new female shooters on the show to introduce them to the shooting sport, and today I have a very special guest with me. Kristen, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and if you have any firearm or airgun experience?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today.
Of course.
It's a beautiful day. But when it comes to air guns, I have no experience. However, when it comes to outdoor sports, I have extensive experience with saltwater fishing.
Very cool.
And in particular, in the summers, I like to go to the Hamptons and go stripe ring and fluking. And then in the winters, I go to the Florida Keys and I do yellowtail snapping and tuna fishing. So this is something brand new for me, and I'm just so excited to learn how to use an air gun.
That's really awesome. I have no experience with fishing. I think the most is in my pond in my backyard when I was little, so you'll have to tell me about that later. But first, I'm going to introduce you to your first air rifle.
Great, I'm so excited.
Okay. Kristen, there are 3 types of power plants for air guns. The first is spring piston, CO2, or what we call a pre-charged pneumatic. Today you'll be shooting the 22 caliber Sumatra 2500. We call it a pre-charged pneumatic because the reservoir gets filled with air. You can fill it with either a hand pump or a scuba tank, it's up to you. But before we do anything, I'm gonna go over the safety features with you, okay?
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, Kristen, this particular rifle has a button style safety. So if you look over here, you can see if I push it to the left, it's hot and ready to fire. Can you see the red line?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, after I've taught you how to properly hold the gun and get into position, I never want you to push it off safe until you're absolutely ready to take your shot. And since it's not automatic, you'll have to always manually push the button back over to put it on safe, okay?
Okay, great. Good to know.
Okay. Kristen, the Sumatra 2500 is a lever action 6-shot repeater. So to load a pellet into the chamber, all you need to do is push the lever all the way forward and pull it back. I now have a pellet in the chamber, so to take a shot, I'm gonna go ahead and get into position. When I've found my target downrange, you can push the rifle off safe and fire.
Nice shot.
Thanks. However, since you're a new shooter, I figured today it would be best if we shot at the bench and use the bag rest because it's easier. Okay, when you're taking your shot, you really want to focus on breathing. Don't hold your breath in. You want to go ahead and cock the rifle, and when you're getting ready to take your shot, let a breath out, and just before you fire, take a nice slow breath in and slowly pull the trigger.
Okay.
Okay? All right, great. So you can go ahead and cock the rifle.
Okay.
Yep, slide it all the way forward. Good job.
That was tough.
Pull back. Yeah, it's different to get used to.
Okay.
Okay? When you found the target, you can go ahead and take it off safe and take your shot.
Okay.
No rush.
Gotta remember everything. Lock is off.
Correct. Nice shot. Awesome shot. And you remembered to put it back on safe. Good job. How did that feel?
So amazing. I want to do it again.
Good. You can go ahead and take more shots. Oh, nice shot.
That's
See?
exactly what I needed to do.
Oh,
Yay.
nice shot. You got them all.
Thanks.
Great job, Kristen.
Well, I had a great teacher.
You know, you did awesome. You made it easy for me. So thank you so much for coming today.
This was like the best day ever, honestly. I mean, I love fishing, but this might be a new favorite outdoor sport of mine.
That is great. Well, we'll definitely have to have you back on the show.
Okay, great.
Folks, I didn't just create the world's ugliest picture frame. This is actually a wooden pellet trap. It's called a silent pellet trap. It's just a simple wood frame with a plywood backer and a stand. Why is it called a silent pellet trap? Because inside of this frame, we put this ballistic putty material. Now, it's not actually ballistic putty, it's called duct seal, and electricians use it to seal conduit against the elements. It costs a couple bucks for a bar at a hardware store. What you do is you line the entire inside of the frame with this putty, and then you put your target on top of it, just like that. And what this material does is capture the pellets quietly. If you've ever shot at a metal pellet trap before, it can get pretty loud. And if you're shooting CO2 action pistols in the basement, you have people sleeping upstairs, it will drive them absolutely crazy. What this does is also solve two problems. It not only quiets down your pellet impact, but it also prevents pellet dust from vaporizing in the air. That can be harmful indoors. This takes care of both problems. The pellet does not vaporize when it hits this material, it just gets captured. I'm going to go ahead and line this entire thing with the ballistic material and show you exactly what I mean. Now let's go ahead and put our target on. All I'm going to do is take a couple of push pins, put them in there like that, and there we go. Let's go ahead and take a couple of shots at our new silent pellet trap. Okay, to demonstrate our silent pellet trap, I'll be using the Beretta 92FS. This is a gorgeous replica pistol made in Germany of the actual firearm. It has walnut grips. It weighs at least 2.5 to 3 pounds. It's got a great heft to it. It's double action and single action. Here you can see the CO2 cartridge. Around this side, got our slide release and our 8-shot rotary clip. Let's go ahead and take some shots. Okay, let's take that target off and see what happened to our pellets. Look at that. Stop them dead in their tracks. You'd even compress them, squashed them. Look at that, you can almost just brush them out, clean up your ballistic putty, and you're ready to shoot again.
That's some serious hog medicine right there. 405 grains. Right through the heart and lungs. They don't go far.
Brett Guidry from St. Amand, Louisiana. I got invited to shoot a big bore air gun competition called Lasso that Eric Henderson puts on every year. Jack Haley is a friend of mine, and he offered to let me shoot one of his guns, and so I rode up there with them and shot the air gun competition and wound up getting second place with one of Jack Haley's 457s. The hunt that I'm on right now was one of the prizes. The first place shooter was able to decide whatever he wanted, so I wound up getting the hog hunt, which was fine by me because I've been hunting pretty much ever since I've been shooting. Probably since I was about 5 years old, I've been messing with air guns. I think I got my first air gun as a Daisy. Back then, a Benjamin was pretty much considered a Magnum air gun. I've gotten quite a few more since then.
Shoot. Shoot. It's down. Hit it again. Hit it again. Oh. Oh. Remember I was telling you they were dangerous?
Yeah.
See how they came running right at us?
Mm-hmm.
That second shot, how'd you miss? Were you aiming for the head?
No, I look right there. The behind the front shoulder low.
Yeah, that's a hard shot.
Yeah, that was exciting.
You think?
Nice little black hog shot with a Jack Haley 457, 500 grain hollow point, Robert Vogel hollow point. Shot her a couple of times. She, it wasn't too good of a shot on the first one, and went ahead and popped it a couple more times, and it wound up right here by the stand. Kind of convenient. Get it loaded back up on the truck. Some South Louisiana pork and sausage jambalaya.
Get Getting back to the Evanix Renegade, this Korean-made airgun launches 14 grain pellets at an average of 1,000 feet per second. As Crystal said earlier, this ain't no backyard plinker. Power and accuracy make the Renegade a great small game hunter, and the revolver type action allows for quick follow-up shots on fast-moving targets like squirrel and rabbit.
Today on the Safe Side, we have a very special guest joining us, Mark Hotelling. Mark, would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Mark Hotelling. I'm from Watertown, New York. I'm a sportsman education instructor for the New York State DEC, Region 6. I belong to a couple of sporting organizations in the Watertown area.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking about how to safely transport and handle your airgun. So I figured we could start with the most proper way to pass an airgun to someone.
Okay. When handling any firearm or airgun, you want to ensure that the muzzle is always pointed in the safe direction. The firearm's on safe and your finger's off the trigger until you're ready to actually shoot it. To hand it to someone, just ensure the action is open and unloaded, and hand it to the person.
Okay, excellent. And I'll keep my finger off the trigger as well. Thank you. Mark, I would assume the best way to travel with an airgun is in a case, but suppose you're in a vehicle, where would the best placement be? Would it be in your glove compartment?
No, the glove compartment is probably not the best place to put it. Always keep the firearm or airgun in a case when you're traveling from your home to the vehicle to the range, vehicle to the hunting. The best place in the vehicle to keep the case would be in the trunk.
Okay.
Always check regulations for the states that you're in and that you're traveling through, any special requirements.
Okay, awesome. We actually do a lot of traveling on foot here, whether we're going from the studio to the field or back and forth, walking around in the field, we're constantly handling rifles. So is there a proper way to carry your rifle, whether you're walking next to someone or hunting?
Yes, there is. There are a number of different carries that can be used. Two-hand carry like this, the most stable, best control. If someone's walking to your left side here, you would not want to use this carry in particular, you use one of the others.
Right.
Handing the firearm off to another person, you would ensure that it is unloaded, it is on safe, and you hand it to the person that you're with.
Okay, excellent. And I would assume it would be the same if you're crossing an obstacle in a field?
Yes, it is. You would unload your firearm, give it to the person you're with. You cross the obstacle, they give you your gun, they unload theirs and give it to you. And they cross the obstacle, you both reload and continue with what you're doing.
Okay, excellent. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today and all of your really helpful information. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we will see you back on the show.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Another type of target that's a lot of fun to shoot but also challenging are the pipes from a Windchime. I bought my Windchime at the dollar store. It came with about 5 pipes on a chime. These in particular are made out of steel, which work a lot better than aluminum because they're heavier and more durable. They're great to shoot with a low-powered air rifle, such as the Air Venturi Bronco, the Ruger Explorer, and if you'd like, you could use an air pistol, such as the Beretta PX4 Storm, or the Smith & Wesson 686. The best part about wind chimes is that they come pre-drilled. You just have to put a string through it and you can hang it anywhere it's safe to shoot. So whether you choose a tree branch or a sawhorse like the one I have here, it's up to you. For younger shooters, you can keep the pipes a little closer together. They're easier to hit and they also make a great sound that's a lot of fun. For me, I'm gonna keep them spread out a little bit. I like the challenge, so I'm gonna grab my air rifle and take some shots from about 20 yards away. Instead of using round nose pellets, I'll be using the wad cutters because they have a flat head, more surface area, and they're probably going to make a better sound when I hit the pipes. Let's take some shots and see how I do. Now, the pipes are only about a ½ inch wide, so there's really not that much room for air with windage, but they're also about 8 inches long, so if my elevation is off, it really doesn't matter. There's one. I'll be honest, it was a little hard for me in the offhand position, so I'm gonna try it in the seated and see if I do any better.
Well, folks, we'd like to thank you for joining us on today's episode of American Airgunner. My name is Paul Capello.
And I'm Krista Lackley.
Until next time.
Shoot safe and have fun.
Hey, you gonna eat all the fish food? Come on, you're not a fish. You're not a fish. It's for the fish.
They're all over now.
Yeah.